Hello, hello everyone. Welcome to Wednesday Night Live Crafting. Michelle Grech here at Think Out Loud Paper Crafting. So good to be back. Sorry about last week, guys. I just, one of those weeks where it just wasn't happening for me. So too much going on. Honestly, I can't actually. I'm trying to find you on my Facebook page, but it seems like I've disappeared. Okay, there we go. There we go. Oh, I'm a bit out of camera there. So, all right. So there's one person's joined me. So, hi Debbie, how you going? I thought I might be crafting on my own tonight. That's what happens. You disappear for 1 week and then everybody forgets about you. And I was late, I must admit, posting up a note on my page to say that I would be live tonight, but you know how things are. So how are you, Debbie? Looks like it's just you and me chatting for now. I will wait and give it a few minutes just to see who else might join us. Okay, so there's someone else there. Pop on, jump on, say hi, leave a comment so I know you're here. Give me a thumbs up. Oh no, but look, we've moved on to 4 now. So, hi Sue, how you going? Okay, so I'm not going to be here on my own all night. Hi Mel. Yeah, so how's everybody been? Been a couple of weeks since I was on here last. Saw you all. Hi Sonia. Been a lot going on for everybody. I know there's been a lot going on here. Nothing really important, but just the normal sort of stuff. Hi Carol. Hi Sandy. Michelle. Look at I just you know what life's like. It's just you wonder sometimes where the time goes. I can't believe that we're already in April and that Easter's just around the corner. It seems like it was just Christmas when I last blinked, and now we're almost at Easter. I don't know. What happens as you get older. The time seems to go so much faster. I remember when I was a kid, a year seemed just like forever, and now it's just gone in the blink of an eye. All right, well, we might get started so that I won't keep you all for too late tonight. So as you can see, today we're saying goodbye to some retiring products. So as you all know, or for those of you who don't, our annual catalogue is finishing up at the end of April, and we're getting a new one. So we're saying goodbye to this catalogue here. Well, yes, this catalogue, but not to all the products in it. So some of the products will carry over to our new catalogue. But of course, there will be some products of this catalogue that are being discontinued and won't be available for purchase anymore. And of course, always it's hard to say goodbye to some of those products. I don't know about you guys, but I've always got some favorites that, I just almost shed a tear when I see them, or when I see that they're not in the new catalogue. But, they're always being replaced by fabulous products. And, there's a whole heap of things in the new catalogue, which I do have in my hot little hand over here. Unfortunately, I can only show you the cover. So here's the beautiful cover of our new catalogue. Don't you just love this floral set on the front here? I just can't wait to get my hands on that. But this is our new catalogue, and unfortunately I can't open up the pages and show you the inside. That can't happen until this catalogue goes live, which is in early May. But if you are a current customer of mine, you'll be getting one of these in the mail as soon as I have them. Hi Sam. If you aren't a current customer customer of mine, but you would like a catalogue, please let me know. Drop me a message, and I will organise to get one out to you when I have them in my hot little hands. So hopefully I'm expecting them to come before the end of the week. So as soon as they come, I'll be dropping them in the post to you, so you can start stalking the postman, well, probably in a week or so. Oh, I thought that I had grabbed myself a drink, but it seems like I might have left it out in the kitchen. Never mind. All right, so when I was going through my list, that's the other thing, is we have a list of retiring products. So I think I will have showed you this before, and you can see mine now. It's got some highlighting on it, quite a bit of highlighting actually, which is all of my stamp sets that I have that are on this list, and some of the papers and embellishments and things like that. There's also a lot of lines through some of the products. So those products have already sold out. So if there is anything on retiring that you do want to get your hands on that's still available, I'd say quick, run and get it, because you will miss out if you don't. And once these products are gone, it's only while supplies last. They will be gone, and then you won't be able to purchase them. And you can also see this discounted column here. There's a lot of the products which are discounted up to 50%. So that list you can find, there's a link to it on my Facebook page, on my business page. There's also a link to it on my blog at www.stampmichelle.wordpress.com. Okay, so I went through that list and I thought, what shall I choose to work with tonight? And I thought, well, it's coming up to Easter. And this was absolutely one of my favourite stamp sets. I really love the range of chickens in this set. And you might remember, if you've been a demonstrator, if you are a demonstrator, or if you've been around for a while, that there was also a celebration stamp set 2 or 3 years ago, which was called Hey Chick. And then recently they, I think it was last year, they reintroduced or brought back that stamp set with some coordinating dies, and also this new stamp set here. And it also has dies. You can see here inside there's streamers, a fence, there's dies that cut out all of these chickens, and there's also an awesome happy birthday die there, which I will be really sad not to be using that anytime again soon. So I thought I might use this to do some Easter, an Easter project. Because the other thing is, I don't often buy Easter stamp sets. Like, I don't really send Easter cards. Sometimes I make, I might make a 3D item, like a box or something like that, to gift some eggs at Easter time, but I don't tend to send many cards. So I don't sort of buy specific Easter stamp sets. I do have a few sentiment stamp sets that have, greetings in them that say Happy Easter. And I'll be using one of those tonight, which is this one here, which is in a current January to June mini catalogue. And I'll be using this Happy Easter here, combined with some of the images from this set. The other thing that we are saying goodbye to, I'm using a few retired products tonight. So this stamp set, before I move on from that, thought I'd made a note and written down. I think this stamp set is 50% off at the moment, and so are the coordinating dies. And of course, I went to all that trouble to write a list, and now I don't know where I've put it. I thought it was here somewhere, but it seems to have gone. No, under my light. No, I don't know where I put it. But I'm pretty sure this stamp set is 50% off. There it is there. So 50% off for this stamp set. So it's now $18.50. the coordinating dies here, which are fabulous dies, because, you know, there are lots of things here that you could use. You know, this chicken with the balloon here would be great for birthdays. There's one down here with the cupcake. So we're not just talking about, you know, using it for Easter. It's actually a hey birthday stamp set. So, so these dies are $23.50. So they're 50% off it as well. So a bargain there. We're also saying goodbye to our basic pattern decorative masks. So I'm going to be using those tonight as well. So this is a set of 4 masks that have these. So it has that spotty pattern in it, has this pattern here, also another sort of swirly pattern, and this one here, which I really like, which is actually trees. So this can give you some really beautiful backgrounds with these decorative masks, and I love using these with all sorts of things, with my blending brushes, which is what I'm going to be doing tonight, but also with spritzing, sponges, you know, you can do all sorts of things. Embossing paste, it's another thing you can use with them. So tonight I'm just going to be doing it with inks and a blending brush, but I thought that we would give these a last whirl before they go too. And this one in particular is one that I've used a lot, and I will be really sad to see these dots go, because I think, you know, spots are something that they're just, you know, the things that they're ageless, aren't they? You can use them all the time. So, oh, yes, Sue, chickens are your favourites. I wonder why that is. All right, so, and I'm also, the other thing I'm going to be using, and I've just got one piece of it here. I don't know actually where the pack is, but this is the Pattern Party Host Designer Series paper, which is available as a discounted purchase with your Host rewards when you have a qualifying order. And I'm just about down to my last few sheets of this. And so today I'm going to actually be using this nice sort of gingham sort of checkered pattern on the back there. So let's get started. So I'm going to start with, and I think I meant to cut some paper earlier, but forgot. So let me just grab a piece. I'm a little bit disorganized tonight. Okay, so I'm going to bring in my trimmer. I'm just going to start with a piece of basic white, and this is just a 1/4 sheet, but I'm actually going to cut 1.5 centimeters off both sides, because in my final design I want this to be smaller. So I think that ends up at being about 9 centimeters by 13.3 is the final dimensions of that. And I'm actually just going to bring in some scrap paper to cover up my paper underneath there, because I'm always working with stencils, you know that you're going to make a bit of a mess. And I'm just going to bring in some washi, and I'm just going to tack that down in the corners so that it doesn't move. So just a little bit on each corner, because I don't want to interfere too much with the pattern when I'm stenciling. And I'm going to be working tonight in two yellow colours. So again, this is another one of our outgoing in colours. So every year, you know, we have 5 new on-trend colours Stampin' Up! Introduce in each catalogue. And then they hang around for 2 years, and then they disappear and head out and make room for the new on-trend colours. So this one's one of the ones that's been around now for a couple of years, but we're saying goodbye to that. So, and I'm also going to be using from our regular colour family, from the Subtles family, our So Saffron. So I'm just going to pop my mask on over the top there. And I'm not going to actually tack it down this. I'm just going to hold it this first time, but I will tack it down when I move it, because I'm actually going to be moving it after this particular part of the technique. So I'm just going to pick up some of the ink with a blending brush, and I'm just going to just blend over that mask. Not sort of pretty random, and I don't want it to be too dark. I just want to pick up a bit of colour there. I think that's probably enough. What I'm going to do now is I actually want to give that a little bit more texture. So I'm going to bring in my bumblebee, and I'm going to reposition my mask now. I'm just so you can see, like, that's lined up where I don't know if you can see that in the camera, but that's lined up where I blended before. Now I'm actually going to move it so that you can only see white again. So I'm sort of moving so the holes are actually in between each of these dots. So I'm just going to, that's lined up. So I'm just going to move it, and you can sort of see the dots through the mask. It doesn't need to be perfect, but I'm sort of lining those up so that they're in the middle. And I'm going to bring in my bumblebee, and actually this time, very carefully, I am going to tack that down because I don't want it to move, because I already have those stenciled dots underneath. And this is just another way of getting more out of your masks. You know, you don't always you don't have to actually have the pattern that you see on the mask. You know, there's lots of other things that you can do to change the pattern, and this is just one of the techniques that you can use. So I'm going to take off a bit of colour. Now I'm going to come in with the bumblebee, and I'm just going to be a bit darker with this one. I mean, it's already a darker ink, but I'm just going to, you know, just in spots around the mask, I'm actually going to add some darker colour there, be a bit more heavy-handed than I would normally be. Then I'm just going to lift that up, take off all this washi tape. What would we do without it, hey? I use washi tape for so many things, and it's so good because it doesn't tear your paper. It's because it's so low tack. It's you can see there when I take that mask off, I've got a much more textured pattern there with my with those other dots in between the saffron dots that I did earlier, or spots, dots, whatever you want to call them. And of course you could do this in, you know, like I've just done it in coordinating colours, so monochromatic colours, but you could do that in two totally different colours, and that would look quite fabulous. And you sort of also almost made your own designer series paper. So let me bring in the rest of my supplies. So is everybody ready for Easter? You all done your Easter egg shopping? Do we all do Easter eggs? I mean, I love chocolate, so I always, you know, I always love to get Easter eggs. My kids, they're old enough now that they're probably past getting eggs. They'd rather get something else. But I still do like to give everyone some chocolate of some sort. Actually, my older son this week asked me if I could look for Cadbury speckled eggs, because they're one of his favourites, and he said he'd been looking around but he hadn't been able to find any, so I'll have to go in search of some of those. Me, I'm just a straight chocolate. I don't like I don't like ones with fillings or things like that. I just like plain chocolate eggs. Right, so this, I'm using the large chicken here with, and I'm just going to stamp that in Memento. And I've also got the little one here that's popping out of the egg wearing the party hat. And I'm going to stamp him or her, gender neutral here. And I'm going to stamp him, her on some So Saffron cardstock. Put the lid back on that so I don't put my elbow in it. Now, of course, they have coordinating dies, so I don't have to worry about fussy cutting them. So let me just pop over to the die cutting machine and talk quietly amongst yourselves while I do that. And I'll just go die cut these. I know I say this a million times. I say it every time I have a live, but I could actually drag my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine in under the camera, but it makes the desk shake really badly. And I think most of you have seen me die cut things a million times, so you don't necessarily need me to show you me doing that. That's a mouthful, isn't it? Yeah, so I'm just. The good thing about these dies too is that they would fit inside our fit through our mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. So if you managed to pick one of those up during the sale last month when they were 40% off, then this would be a great set because all of these dies will fit through that mini machine. Okay, let me just peel these off without ripping my cardstock. Okay, so there's our chicks there. Oh yes, Carol, you get brownie points for being very quiet. All right, so now I'm just going to do a little bit of colouring those, and I'm going to use my blends for that. And I'm using the So Saffron, the dark blend. And I'm just going to colour in. I'm not going to colour in the whole chick. I'm just going to add a little bit of colour where those sort of like where his feathers, I suppose that should call it, are on the those marks from your stamp. I'm being really technical here, but it really, the actual stamp gives you some ideas about where to colour. I'll just add a little bit of colour down the bottom here because I really want the white to stand out. I don't want to colour it in completely. I just want a little bit of highlighting. So I'm not being too fussy there. A little bit over there on his wing. I don't know, that's what it's called? I don't know. I'm not really up so much with chicken anatomy, or you'd think we eat enough of it in this house. I probably should know what all the parts of a chicken are called. And on my one here in the So Saffron, I'm just going to add just a little bit of colour across this centre piece here. Now you won't even really notice that. It's just a little bit of highlighting just to set off that that little bit in the middle, the break between where the chicken is coming out of the egg and just a little bit on his hat up there. Okay, so I've gone ahead earlier and cut a tag. This one's from our Tailored Tags dies, and it also has in the set this, the little reinforcement that goes around the top there. So I've just cut that in So Saffron, and I'm just going to add that with a little bit of liquid glue. Ooh, it's a new one, so of course the glue's really coming out fast on that one. It's one of those things with the liquid glue, it either comes out really fast or not at all. Well, that's what I find anyway. Okay, so I'm going to now bring in my Happy Easter sentiment, and I'm actually going to do a bit of masking off on this actual on this sentiment. So I want the Easter part to be in the yellow, but I want the happy to be in the black. So I'm just going to mask off. Let me just move that up so you can see it under the camera. I'm just going to use a bit of washi tape to mask off the word Easter there. Then I'm going to ink that up with my Memento. Now, take off the masking tape. Now I'm just going to come in now with my Stampin' Right marker. So my poor neglected Stampin' Right markers, who used to get used all of the time before our blends appeared. I used to colour with these a lot, and of course since we've got our blends I haven't done that so much. But of course you can't use your blends directly to your rubber stamps, so this is where your Stampin' Right markers will come in, and I'm just going to colour that, put that ink straight down just onto the Easter. I'm actually using the edge of my my marker. I'm not using the tip because that will fray the end of it and deteriorate it. So now I'm just going to give that a bit of a huff. So just going to use my breath and breathe on it, and hopefully not shrivel it up from the garlic that I had at dinner time. And I'm just trying to remember where I stamped that. I think I'm just going to stamp that just towards the top there. And you'll see there I've got my Happy Easter in 2 colours. All right, so we're nearly ready to construct here. So I'm going to bring in a card base here, so just a half an A4 sheet, scored down the middle at 10.5 centimetres, and my piece of designer series paper, which is just cut down slightly smaller so that I've got that nice frame around the edge there. I'm just going to attach that with liquid glue. So this is how you make an Easter card when you don't actually have Easter stamp sets. It's also gives me a chance once more to use my favourite chickens. I'm just going to attach that there. And then I'm going to bring in my blended or stenciled piece there, and I'm going to attach that also with liquid glue. So for those of you out there who have little kids or grandkids, are they starting to get excited for Easter? Remember when my kids were small, we used to do the whole Easter bunny thing. We used to do the footprints and, leave out, a bit like we did for Santa, we leave out things to feed the rabbits and or feed the Easter bunny. And I used to be so excited. I really miss those days. Now it's just like, it sort of goes by in a flash, and they're not really that fussed about it. Right, so now I'm just going to add my tag on here. Just before I do that, I'm going to attach my chicks to that, and I'm going to do that with some dimensionals. Hi Robin, how you going? You're all very quiet out there. So what's on TV tonight now that Maths is finished? Did anybody watch the end of that show? I have to say, like, you know, I did watch it, I'll admit to that, but it's a bit like a train wreck, you know, like you sort of can't look away. It's not that I was really that interested in the whole thing, but I just had to keep watching to see what was going to happen with all of those warring women. I couldn't take my eyes off it. Your grandkids are going away, Sue. Where are they off to? So does that mean that you get a holiday because they're all going away? I'm just going to pop that little chick down there in the corner. Okay, and also I've gone ahead and used the little fence die from the die set. I'm just going to pop that. I'm just going to stick that down there. I've just cut that in So Saffron. There we go. There goes the lid of my Tombow onto the floor. That'll be something I'll have to find later. I'm not going to go crawling around for it now, that's for sure. Find my tweezer's not in here. I was working on some class stuff today, so there they are. My desk is a bit of a mess. All right, so I'm just going to add that little bit of fence there, which is just going to sit right up against the edge of my my stenciled background there, and then I'm going to pop that tag up on dimensionals as well. So, yeah, it was a bit unrealistic, wasn't it? I mean, so even though I know that you know, Maths, that it's not, a lot of it's scripted and it's all, you know, it's all done for effect, I still find myself sitting on the couch going, you know, like ranting and raving at them and telling them all that they're silly. And, you know, even my husband, who just can't stand it, he was roped into, you know, to sitting there watching it. He couldn't look away either. So obviously it's how they get the ratings on it. So I'm just going to pop my that tag on there. And now I'm just going to go ahead and add a bit of linen thread. And what do I like to use about 25 centimeters. And I'm going to do a double bow here. So I'm actually going to just double that, and then I'll cut it in half. So usually I will tie bows, and I don't actually cut off a piece of ribbon or thread. I usually leave it on the roll while I tie it. You know. But given that I'm tying these two together, it's I actually need to cut a piece. I'm just going to tie a bow there. I like that sort of bit of extra, you know, extra thread, that, you know, the extra bulk that the double bow gives me. Snip off those ends. And I'll just find that a glue dot is the easiest way to attach that. So I'm just going to use the bow to actually pick up the glue dot straight off the roll. Of course, now it doesn't want to come off, does it? Give it a helping hand with my scissors, and I'm just going to pop that on there. And lastly, of course, we need to finish it off with some embellishments, because that's just what I do. What I did pull out was the Playing with Patterns resin dots. So these are also retiring, and I have to be honest to say I didn't actually look up the price of these ones, so I'm not sure whether they're discounted or not, but I've got these yellow ones here, and I'm just going to add a couple of those to finish off my card there, the tag. And there you go. So of course I've also got a bit of cardstock here for my inside, because we can't have a naked inside. Sorry, just cleaning up some of the offcuts here. I'm just going to bring back in my little chick here, and I don't think I will stamp anything in the center, because like I said, I don't really tend to send Easter cards that much, so I'm sending this cards, I would probably just be writing a message. If I send this to a friend, I'd just be writing a message on the inside. I wouldn't actually necessarily have a greeting. And I'll just bring back in my dark Stampin' Blend, my So Saffron, and just colour that chick there. So what is your favourite product that's retiring? Does everybody have something that they really feel like they can't say goodbye to? Of course, you could just I'm just going to come back in with my Stampin' Write marker. I'm just going to add a little bit of darker colour there for the bee, because this one's in the bumblebee. And I'll just add that to the inside of my card. Oh, thanks, Sandy. Yeah, it's actually, there's often those elements in dies that that we sort of overlook, unless you're sort of building a scene that uses that, but they can often be used in the background to add some interest. So that's the inside of my card. And then the other thing you could do, how obviously I like to decorate my envelopes as well. And I haven't actually decorated one for this card, because but you could actually, where are my envelopes? I do know I've got envelopes up here somewhere, but laying my hands on them right at this moment is, I'm still, as you would know if you had joined me a couple of weeks ago, I'm still in the throes of moving furniture here in my craft room, and bought some new furniture, and there's still stuff all over the place. But you could actually bring in one of our basic white envelopes, and if I can, in this mess here, if I can find my stencil again, you could bring back in your stencil and then just add some, I'm not going to re-ink that, I'm just going to, let's see how well I can hold this down, actually add some colour there, whoops, to the back of my envelope. I mean, I often decorate the flap of my envelope with designer series paper, that coordinates with my card, but this is just another. Then you can just move that down just to finish off that little bit on the end there. And of course, because this is because they're dots, it's quite an easy pattern to line up when you need to move it. So there you go, you can just add in a bit of colour there on the back of your envelope, and that's going to coordinate with your card. Now I also did one in another colorway. I just thought that I would, and used another one of our retiring sets here. So this is the bunny from the Nature's Beauty, I think is the name of the stamp set. Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure that that stamp set has sold out. Let me just have a quick look. Yeah, it has, but for those of you who might have it in your stash, it was this stamp set here. So I've just used the bunny here and some of the sort of decorative elements there in the back, and done exactly the same layout, just used a different colour, some different embellishments, done it in the pink, and also this is some of the ribbon that's from the Artfully Composed collection from the January to June mini catalogue, and I've actually just cut that in half. And I actually like how that really frayed, and it gives it a really sort of soft look that really coordinates well, I think, with the bunny. So there's my Easter cards and my goodbye to Hey Birthday Chick. So I hope you liked those cards. So just before I go, I just wanted to, well, I've already reminded you about the last chance list. So that's happening until the end of the month. But like I said, things are going really fast. You can see by all those crossed out items on my list. So if there's anything that you think that you might want, you can't live without, then I urge you to get onto it. The other thing I wanted to talk about is, for those of you who've missed doing in-person classes with me, I'm excited to announce that next month I'll be starting back with in-person classes. So I've done a bit of a revamp of the way I do classes, in-person classes, and I'm going to be offering the same class both in person and online. So a few days after the in-person class, I will offer the same class online, and that will be starting in May. And my first class will be using the Artfully Composed bundle from the mini catalogue. Let me just see if I can find that. All the details for the class will be up either tonight or first thing tomorrow. I'm just finalising some of the finer details. So it will be with this suite here. The 21st of May will be it's a Saturday morning, will be the in-person class. So from 10 till 12 will be the in-person class, and then on the following Wednesday, which I think is May the 25th, will be the online version of that class. So you are quite welcome, if you come to the in-person class, to come back to the online version if you want. Obviously, you will only have one kit unless you wanted to buy an extra kit off me. But, if you didn't finish your cards in the in-person class, or you wanted to make some more with your own supplies, or you want to just join us and craft for the night, then you can come back to that class as well. So, like I said, all details for that will be up on my blog and on my Facebook page either tonight or first thing tomorrow. And there's a couple of options for purchasing the class. I think there's 3 options. You can either just get the consumable kit, which just gives you the supplies to actually make the cards, but you will also get a quarter pack of the beautiful artfully layered designer series paper. But you can also upgrade to the stamp set or the bundle. And because this is my first online in-person class for a couple of years, thanks to COVID, I'm offering a special with this class that if you upgrade to the Artfully Layered bundle, then you will actually get the class for free. So the class is $30 on its own. So that's just the consumable sort of class packet plus the designer series paper. But if you take the gold option, which is the upgrade to the bundle, then you will actually get that $30 class for free. So, and that's just happening. It's a one-off for this month because I'm excited about coming back to class. The other thing that I wanted to let you all know is that I'm also really excited to announce that I'm going to be partnering with my lovely friend from the UK, Louise Sims, who is the Stamping Senorita. You can find her at Stampin Delight is her website. I'm going to be partnering with her over the next few months to offer some classes that she has designed. So we're going to be class sharing or buddying up across borders to offer classes. So some of the classes you will come to will be designed by me, and some of them will have been designed by Louise. So look out for those. I think the June class that will be coming up will be designed by Louise. So I'm really excited for that as well. So like I said, look out for those details, and I hope you'll join me for an in-person class sometime soon. Okay, so I think that's enough for tonight. Hope you enjoyed the cards. I will see you back here next week, next Wednesday, just before Easter, and in the same place at the same time. And I hope you join me. Thanks so much for spending some time with me tonight. I really do appreciate it. Share my video if you have got crafty friends or anybody who you think might enjoy doing a bit of crafting or might enjoy having a look at some of our products, and that will help me with my Facebook algorithm, because you know Facebook loves it when you comment lots, give me lots of likes, and when you share my video. So that means that I will get seen by more people, and that means that I can keep bringing you more of these videos. So thanks for joining me, and I'll see you all again next week. Okay, bye bye.